All right, so we just had our first locals here at Curio Cavern in Centreville, Virginia. 20 players, pretty big event. It was 4 rounds. I was able to take it with green, blue Zeon. And this is the winner pack. I've never opened one of these before. I'm excited to see it. I think this is like the first locals in the area that's doing TP packs. So maybe this is the first tournament pack opened. And then I'm not gonna look at it. I'm gonna show the camera first.
It's just one card.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Is it good? I don't know. Who is that? Oh, it's Sailor. all right, we'll take that. We'll take that. That's not bad. Pilot's good. That's pretty fire. What does it mean? Okay, so you get the alt arts of the cards from the set. You know, GD 87.
Oh.
This comes in the regular tournament packs, but it's not the borderless foil, and this one also has the little mark in the corner as well. You can see that's the little winner mark. You're familiar with like?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. Wow. Yeah, that's sick though. I'm happy it's a pilot. I was hoping it was a pilot.
What was your record today?
4-0. So and like $20 something of store credit. So let's go. Deck profile soon.
Hey guys, Vu from Next Turn Lethal here, bringing you guys a deck profile with Nate after his first locals win in the DMV area. So Nate, what deck did you bring today?
So today I brought blue-green Zeon 1 Year War aggro. I think that's what people are calling it, the 1 Year War deck. I was thinking about what to play for today. I was really considering green-white, but I don't have 4 Death Scythes, so I had to not play that. And this was one of the only decks that I had like fully no proxies, so I decided on going for it.
Oh, so what was your matchup spread today?
It was actually kind of interesting. I played against no green-white. So round 1 was pretty standard blue-white blockers list with Unicorn. That matchup is kind of interesting. If you are able to take second away from them, you can kind of keep them off their curve. And if you mulligan for a low to the ground hand, a lot of times you can just kind of run them over. And then after that, I played against red-green Zeon Rush. I actually had a lot of practice with this with one of the other players from the channel. And we found out that it's actually a pretty good matchup for me just because his version is a little bit more mid-rangey. So I'm more low to the ground and I can rush him down usually. And then after that, I played against another blue-white blockers. And that was, again, another rush down. Our game lasted, I think, like 5 minutes. And that was kind of a theme throughout the night. I think the longest game I played was like 7 or 8 minutes and it went to like 6 resources or something like that. All my games were over quick. And then the last round I played against my good friend Morgan. He was playing another red-green Zeon list actually, but he had Castria in there as well. So that can be a little bit of a coin flip. Being able to do ping damage to my lower cost or my lower HP units can get kind of annoying, but I was able to get there in the end. And yeah, those are my matchups for today.
So speaking on that rush and low to the ground, can you tell me a bit more about your game plan there for the green-blue deck?
Yeah, so in pretty much every matchup, you want the game to be over by like the resource number like 5 or 6 usually. So a lot of times you're mulliganing for a lot, like a 1-drop and then potentially a 2 into a 3 with a pilot attached to really just kind of pressure the opponent as much as possible. You also want to keep them off their curve if you can. If you know what they're playing, it's really good to take what you think is best for them because this deck can play first or second. It's really kind of flexible. But really, I'm just trying to play as many low-cost units as possible and go face as much as possible and try to end the game before my opponent can really get off the ground and do what they want to do.
So speaking on that low curve again, what would you say is your toughest matchup then?
I would say the toughest matchup, it's kind of ironic. I won against it twice today, but I think blue-white blockers can be kind of awkward if you don't see a good curve. The Gundam Ilfrit is really annoying. 2-4 trades really well into a lot of your units. A lot of guys like Rickdom that you use early game to kind of control the board while still taking life. Can't do anything against it while it has a pilot attached. And it also stops a lot of your 3 AP swingers early game. So I think that's probably the most annoying one. Either that or red-blue ping, cyber new type ping is also really annoying because they're pretty low to the ground as well. So they can aggro you out, but like sometimes you just get ruined by like that one drop gun tank, man. Like doing 1 damage to your units can get really annoying. If they get to Kistria, they can usually wipe your board, and then you just kind of run out of juice after that.
Yeah, so just getting into the deck here, what would you say are the key units of the deck, really the boss units there?
Yeah, so for boss units, I mean, obviously, Char's Gelgoog is kind of like your finisher, right? Most of the time throughout the game, you're going to be able to go through 1 Char pilot, at least, ideally. So this just lets you have access to a high maneuver, potentially base cracker in the late game, or just a way to go face and end the game. And then I would say Gelgoog is also, the other Gelgoog is also one of the kind of main game enders, or even just like late game, like, or not late, I say late game, but it's like the 4 or 5 resource turn. If you pair this with Makuv, you can give this rush and then also give it breach 1. So you can make some really nasty trades into the board while keeping units alive and still pressuring their life. And it can kind of put you over the edge in a lot of matchups.
Absolutely. Would you be able to give me a card by card overview of your deck there?
Yeah, I can do that. Here, let me pull it aside here. I got to put some cards back together, but we'll go with the 1-drops first. So, as far as 1-drops go, I only play 4. Play a package of 4 Zaku 1s. There's not a lot of great 1-drops in blue, and this is searchable off of Char Zaku, the LR. So this is kind of what you run. And then we go to the level 2s, and for level 2s, I have 4 Zaku 2. I mean, this is just a really, really good early base cracker unit, like EX base cracker. This is kind of like your ideal turn 1 play if you're going first, or going second, sorry, on the first turn. But sometimes it's not always great to swing with it. Usually you want to let your opponent swing with theirs first, so they can kind of just, because it's easy to trade into. You really want to get that EX base. And then I also have the Zaku 2 vanilla unit. This is another level 2 1 cost. It's pretty effective. It's easy. It's searchable. The 2/2 stat line's not too bad, and it's just another 1 cost unit. You want those because that kind of lets you go wide early game, because you can usually play, you know, a Zaku or a Rikdom, and then play another unit right after it with one of these other 1-drops. And then after we got the 1-drops, we go into the level 3 2 costs. I would say this is where kind of the core strength of the deck is. First level 3 2 cost is going to be Rikdom. This guy right here is kind of an MVP. Because we're playing blue-green, we have access to the Amuro pilot. And the Amuro pilot, as I'm sure a lot of you guys know, says you are allowed to rest a level 5 or lower unit on play. So with attaching that to Rikdom on the 4 resource turn means you kind of have your pick of whatever your opponent has on board to swing into, trade highly, right? Because he's a 4/4 or a 5/4, so he's most likely going to live. And then you also pressure their life at the same time. This guy can be a real demon if he's left unchecked, and really helps you control the board early. And then you go into your Char Zaku, right? So this is obviously a Zeon Rush deck, and no Zeon Rush deck is complete without the Zaku 2 package. So we have 4 of the GDO1 rare Zaku 2. This one is really good in some matchups and really bad in other matchups. Against blue-white specifically, a lot of times that token that it makes when paired is not that good. So you want to see the other one. And then you have 4 of the LR Char Zaku 2. This is kind of like the meat and potatoes of the deck. You ideally want to be seeing one of these in Char Pilot as soon as possible to really just pressure your opponent's life. Because a lot of times, because you're such a low to the ground deck and you're so fast, they're going to be playing bases as early as they can. And both of these with a Char Pilot get you up to that 5 threshold that you need to crack most bases, unless you're playing against, you know, the green, red 6 HP bases. And then they both give you a really nice effect when paired on Destroy. So these are kind of like your main units that you want to be playing a lot of, I would say. And then after that, once we get to the level 4s, you kind of see a little bit more of like the top end that I was talking about a little bit earlier. So you have 4 of the uncommon Gelgoog from GDO1. This unit is really, really good. A lot of times, this unit becomes really broken in the late game because it can link with 2 of your 3 pilots in this deck. Either Char or Makuv is also another one. So a lot of times, I'm playing down, you know, my Rick Doms and my Char Zaku 2s and my other Char Zaku 2s as the game progresses to kind of go wide, and I'm keeping one of these in my hand because most of the time when you draw a pilot, this unit is going to be live to go high maneuver, go for face. And the stat line ends up being pretty good. And then you also have the GDO1 Gundam RX-78. So this is a vanilla 4-2 with a 3-4 stat line. On paper, it doesn't look that crazy, but we play the Amuro Ray pilot, so we want to have something that links with him. And when you link this with Amuro, it's a 5-5, which is a really, really big stat line, cracks bases. It also trades well if you need to kind of control your opponent's board if they're playing an aggro matchup as well. And yeah, not much to say. It's just kind of a good unit in this deck. And then finally, we have for the level 4s, we have the Char's Gelgoog. We have 4 of those as well. I mean, this is pretty standard as well. A lot of times, your hand's gonna be really small late game. Maybe you only saw 1 Char pilot and it's in your discard now. This just kind of gives you the ability to go over the top and end games when otherwise you wouldn't be able to because you don't have a pilot in hand. It also is kind of funny. Something I've noticed today. I don't think you'd ever want to do it, but you can actually link Makuv and get Makuv back with this pilot. I say link, it's actually not a link, but you can play this unit and then activate main, attach the Makuv from your discard, and you can still do that as well because Makuv is a level 3 pilot. But I never did that, it never came up. And then for pilots, we have 3 Makuv. This is an underrated card, I think, actually. I was finding a lot of use for it today. So what this unit says is it's a 1-1 level 3 pilot, and it says when attached to a Zeon unit, you give that unit breach 1. So on the surface, that doesn't sound that crazy, but once you put one of these under like a Rickdom, for example, right, you have a 4-4 unit on level 3 that has breach 3, which is really broken, right? You can swing into a unit and then crack the EX base with the breach, whereas normally you wouldn't be able to because this is breach 2. I've also had some funny moments where I've put a Makuv on like a Zaku 1 to give this a little bit of a bump, trade into a unit that's been kind of annoying throughout the game, or is like it's something my opponent really wants to have, but still be able to pressure that life because Makuv gives this Zaku 1 breach 1 as well, which is pretty nice. But I found a lot of usage out of this Makuv, more than I thought I was going to. And it links with with Gelgoog, which is nice as well. And then we have the standard 4 Char pilot. I mean, this is the best pilot in your deck, right? This is what you want to be putting on units most of the time. The high maneuver in this is really, really good. Obviously, I mean, I'm sure you guys have played the format as well. Any blue-white deck or green-white deck has like a million blockers in it, and your units are not big enough to go over most of those blockers, or they trade one-on-one. So a lot of times, you just want to be ignoring those blockers entirely and just going face, and this is what allows you to do that. I was also considering G-Fighter as well for this list because it's another unit that has high maneuver, but I don't play enough other white-based team units in there. And there's only 4 Amuro Ray, so I thought it wasn't worth it. But the high maneuver is really, really good, and Char is broken. And then the last pilot we play is 4 Amuro Ray. This pilot is just probably the best generic pilot in the game, I would say. Being able to rest a 5 HP or less is really, really, really strong, and it's just on pair. I put this on Rickdoms a lot. To pressure my opponent early game. I put this on Zaku 2s, like the 1-drop, a pretty decent amount. But this pilot is just generically really good. I don't think I even linked it once today on the RX-78, but just throwing it on your units is really, really strong. And it's like, it still works with a lot of your units, right? Like the GDO1 Zaku says that during pair, you get to make the token if it's destroyed, so you can throw the Amuro Ray on here and still get the effect, which is nice. So in the last 3 cards in the deck, we play 3 Fall Mail. Ideally, you don't want to be playing any bases in this deck, I would say, but playing a base is nice just because a lot of times you run low on hand size with this deck. So being able to play a base, still make a unit, you make that 3/1 token, and then you are able to draw one more card, and potentially that's a Char Pilot, or potentially that's a Char's Gelgoog to get you over the top, or just another unit to go wide, right? So a lot of times this will be like a 2-for-1 on units, which is nice. But yeah, if you're trying to trigger this from life or something like that, usually you're losing the game. So it's really just there to draw you an extra card as the game progresses, because your opponent really won't be swinging into your life too much if the game goes your way. And that is the full 50 cards. Felt like it worked pretty well today. Don't really have any complaints. Like I said, I think the only thing I was considering was G Fighter, but I don't think I would do that. If I did, I would have to probably go more white-based team units, and I don't really know what I would play instead. But yeah, it was worked really good. Like I said, all my games were like 5 minutes, and had a lot of fun tonight.
Well, thank you, Nate.
Yeah.
Congrats again for your first place win at Locals.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it, man. I'm looking forward to going to more Locals again. Hopefully we get a few more winner cards, but we'll see where it goes.